Hello, welcome to the channel. Let's go to today's story. I caught my girlfriend in bed with my cousin, causing me major trauma. However, years later, I managed to turn it around. The last laugh is for those who believe they cannot move on and recover from the infidelity that occurred years ago. I was best friends with this girl, whose initial is C. We've known each other since childhood. Our families were close, and we had such a close relationship that we completed each other's sentences. We were always there for each other, helping each other through difficult times. Even though there was a mutual attraction growing between us, we never acted out of fear of ruining our friendship. She was incredibly beautiful, as were all the women in her family, including her mother and sisters. I kept our relationship strictly platonic, but I occasionally noticed that the boyfriends she had were a lot like me, and this caused conflicts between them. I felt responsible for these separations and suggested that we needed some time away from each other so that she could discover what she really wanted. She texted me the next day, asking to talk at her place. I was nervous as I didn't know what to expect. When I got there, she confessed to me that she was in love with me and wanted more than just friendship. At first I thought it was a joke, especially since it happened on April Fool's Day, but she kissed me and we got together. I realized that I had been a fool to avoid this chance for so long. Our relationship was perfect, and I felt like a king who had found his queen. Our families were excited about our relationship, and everything seemed perfect even as we started college. However, I later found out that she was seeing my younger cousin, an 18-year-old who wasn't exactly responsible. As I had always looked after him like a younger brother due to his father abandoning him when he was 8, I noticed that he looked at my girlfriend inappropriately. I asked him what was going on, but he didn't say anything. Then one night, as we were relaxing in my dorm watching a movie, she said sadly, "Please don't ever leave me." I assured her that would never happen, but she just gave me a sad smile. From that moment on, she started pulling away from me even during sex. It felt like she was just keeping me happy instead of focusing on our relationship. This went on for about 5 months until, on Valentine's Day, she was back to normal, being affectionate and attentive again. I even bought her a diamond necklace with the money I saved. I planned to propose that night, but I forgot the ring in my dorm. When I went back to get it, I saw my cousin pulling up in front of her house and going to the door. They started kissing, and she led him inside, not bothering to close the door completely. I was shocked and felt a fainting feeling coming on. My mind seemed to spin as I watched my cousin and girlfriend make out in her driveway. The scene was surreal, like I was trapped in a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. My car was hidden in the shadows, so they didn't see me, but I was there, witnessing something that shook my confidence to the core. Anger, sadness and confusion mixed inside me, creating a whirlwind of emotions. As someone who had taken care of my cousin since childhood, considering him like a little brother, the betrayal was especially painful. And to see my girlfriend, the person I had invested so much love and trust in, acting like that was just devastating. As they entered the house, leaving the door ajar, my mind began to race. Questions and uncertainties flooded my thoughts. How long had this been going on? How did they get close? And most importantly, how would I react to this? What hurt me the most was that my girlfriend had reverted to her loving and caring behavior with me, as if nothing had happened. The memory of Valentine's Day, when she was so warm and welcoming, loomed large in my mind, making the betrayal all the more bitter. I knew I had to make a decision. I could confront them right then, exploding in anger and sadness, or I could hold my emotions and wait for a more appropriate time. However, one thing was certain, my life had changed drastically in that instant, and I would have to face the consequences of this painful discovery. I could hardly believe what I witnessed. My heart insisted that I wait before taking any impulsive action, but my brain told me to keep going. I quickly left the place and quietly entered the house. Before I could get to the living room, I heard her intense moans and his grunts. My blood boiled with rage, but I managed to remain calm. I took my cell phone out of my pocket and started recording. I crept into a corner of the living room and witnessed something I'll never forget, her riding him with impressive intensity, like a crazed banshee. As soon as I gathered enough evidence, I called out to her, and they were both astonished. She immediately got off him and they stared at me in silence. She started sobbing, begging for a chance to explain and asking me not to hate them. My cousin, pale, knew I could easily spank him, but I didn't give in. I showed her the ring she had thrown away and told her I was leaving. I took what I needed and just left them behind. She chased me around, wearing her clothes, trying to fool me, saying I was about to get caught. Then came the desperate attempts to make things right, like I'm sorry and please talk to me. She tried to convince me that I didn't know the whole story, claiming that he was just being a good friend who helped her, and that I shouldn't break us up. She insisted we could get over it, calling me selfish and immature. And to top it off, she tried to blame it on me when I didn't respond. But I wasn't about to accept her excuses. They told me that this had been going on for 5 months, since I started noticing that they were getting closer. She was basically sleeping with both of them, no protection. I figured everything out at that point and broke up with her right away. They looked like shit when I caught them, her wearing only a bra and him wearing only socks. It was like watching a live porn movie, and I, as a reluctant spectator, listened to every sound and witnessed every action she was taking with him in that moment. I thought only I could turn her on like that, and she claimed that she always loved my body, which I worked hard to keep in shape. However, seeing her jumping at her thinness made me feel insecure for a while. There was no reconciliation there, I just considered how I am distancing myself from them. What I did wrong is I gave her everything and in return I was cheated on when we were dating. She was on birth control except for one time. I usually ended relationships, but I was glad I did. Since then my cousin has been very rude to her and probably ended up inside her. I never yelled at her, never mistreated or ignored her. If she was happy, I was happy, and I thought she was happy that we were together our whole lives. Foolishly, I thought she was the one. There was one time we went to a tarot reading at the mall and the lady there told me that she would find great love. I told her I already found it, but she gave my girlfriend a weird look. I should have known it was a warning sign. Not a day goes by that I am not grateful to have known her. I would have married her not knowing what kind of person she really was. The consequences, as I mentioned, were devastating. After everything blew up, her parents kept calling and demanding to know what happened. They said she was inconsolable. I basically told them what happened, and her mom fell to the floor, while her dad kept apologizing. He said he didn't deserve this situation. Many friendships were destroyed in both families. Our 2 sisters, along with our circle of friends, continued to message me on my phone, asking me to talk to her. The oldest wanted me to take her back and made up an excuse about an alleged mental problem she now mysteriously had. I couldn't be the one to sweep everything under the rug. She cheated, and they told me everything about how and when it happened during the 5 months she claimed to be working overtime at work. How her colleagues covered for her and how nervous she got to see me when I visited her. I was a trusting fool who always saw the best in people, and it cost me dearly. She kept calling me, leaving voicemails, always sounding tired and tense from crying. She said I shouldn't have done it, that she felt like a part of her had died when I left, and she begged to talk to me, claiming that I swore I would never leave her. I couldn't hear her anymore, so I blocked her and didn't reply to her messages. My cousin tried to get in touch a few times, but I ignored him too. I remember the smug smile he gave me when I saw him in my review mirror as I drove off. She knew that if she saw him, she would want to hurt him, and she could easily do that. However, no prison sentence would be worth my freedom. My aunt told me he felt guilty and claimed he did what he did because he wanted to know what it was like to be me. After that, I had no contact with both of them. I moved away and never looked back. I was 22 at the time, she was 20 and he was 18. The first year was tough. I had never been betrayed before and it messed with my head a lot. However, I had a lot of friends to support me, and my parents were a great support system. My friends even took me on a trip to France to help clear my head. It was the best thing that ever happened. Seeing the Eiffel Tower, eating madeleines and learning some French really boosted my confidence. Getting to sketch the naked body of a French girl also gave me an extra boost. Now, I'm 27 years old and I'm a graphic designer. I am earning well and enjoying my life. I had a few dates, but nothing serious. A few months ago, CS younger sister, the last person I expected to contact me, said she got my new number from my parents and wanted to talk. I was always nice to her, so we started texting and talking. It really clicked, and it felt like something new and exciting for her. The last time I saw her, she was a skinny kid with braces, but when she sent me a recent photo, my jaw dropped. She was stunningly gorgeous, just as the women in her family always were, but puberty really transformed her. We ran into each other recently, and she hugged me so tightly I honestly didn't want to let go. We started hanging out a lot and she filled me in on some information about what happened after I left. Apparently my cousin got pregnant that night. They decided to try something for the baby, but he cheated on her and then she cheated on him too. Things got complicated for them when she opted for adoption after moving to Los Angeles. She doesn't know or care what happened to my cousin, and she said she never forgave her sister for hurting me. She admitted to having fantasies about us, playing house, and that she had a crush on me. She said she always saw me as the perfect guy that her sister didn't deserve. I told her that I liked her too. She also expressed a desire to start a relationship. If she accepted me, that's where I find myself right now. I have a solid job, a good quality of life, and I'm starting to fall in love again. I'm glad I learned a lot from my past experiences, and I want to share my perspective when I see posts that encourage people to understand that there is life after infidelity. I want to remind everyone that it's never too late to start over and, most importantly, never settle for less than you deserve. This approach worked for me and it might work for others too. I apologize for the length of this text, and thank you for reading this far. Now, I would like to hear the opinions of the community. The first opinion concerns what the person's parents said when they started dating their younger sister. The answer was that the people she always got along with were surprisingly supportive. Her father called her son-in-law, and when everyone found out about her relationship with her younger sister, he congratulated her, saying that he got his son-in-law back. The mother was also fine with the relationship, although there was some perceived tension with the person. It seems that the mother always thought that the person would work things out and go back to being with the older sister. However, at least she remained civil, although she was upset when she learned of the person's plans to move forward. The second opinion emphasizes the importance of ensuring that the new girlfriend is welcomed into the family, as long as she is supportive of the current relationship and doesn't make unwanted advances. The suggestion is to go slow and be deliberate, wishing the narrator good luck. The third opinion focuses on an earlier event when the person discovered his cousin and younger sister together. She mentions that she was surprised the person didn't try to ambush him at work or college, and asks if there's any reason for the person's behavior other than what's been mentioned in the rumors. The narrator responds that he was physically repulsed by her after witnessing the betrayal and that she continued to try to manipulate the truth, in addition to trying to invade his dorm space. The person claims that he never understood her true reasons and that the older sister was confused and lonely, wrongly suspecting that he was cheating on her. And that's the end of today's story. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Until the next video.